This is Kevin Fenstermacher, Deputy Director of Athletics, and it's time for Titantown Sports.
Welcome back to Titantown Sports. I'm your anchor, Jorden Tate. Joining me for the first time together, Ethan Kurtz. Ethan, we spent a lot of time on the lacrosse field, but this is our first time here together. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Jorden. Really excited to be here with you. Like you said, we've done lacrosse games that we've called, also shared the playing field, but first time at the anchor desk together, so really excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of interesting stories coming up today, but the first one, the big buzz around the campus, men's basketball coach Kevin Soroki, a big story with him. The Westminster College Athletic Department announced it has begun its national search for a new men's head basketball coach after it was announced they would part ways with 13-year head coach Kevin Soroki. Soroki, a 1993 grad of Westminster, was the head coach for 13 seasons and compiled a record of 157 and 179. A PAC record of 104 and 117. The crowning achievement of Soroki's tenure was the 2021 PAC Championship, beating Grove City by a score of 73-72 for the program's only PAC Championship. Westminster College Athletic Director Jason Letter had this statement about the situation. He said, "I would like to thank Coach Soroki for his hard work, commitment, and dedication as the head coach of the men's basketball program, one he cares deeply about for the last 13 years. We are grateful for his long service to Westminster and his mentorship to the many outstanding young men he's coached. We intend to move swiftly to find our next head coach. We will work diligently to find the right fit for the Titans men's basketball program."
Love to thank Coach Soroki for everything he's done for this program, bringing them a PAC title in 2021. Jorden, great guy. You've got to speak with him quite a bit throughout the Coach's Corner show in the past. Thank you, Coach Soroki, for everything you've done.
Yeah, you said it best, Ethan. I was able to have the opportunity to chat with Coach Soroki a couple times on Coach's Corner. A phenomenal human, and he is going to be greatly missed, and everyone here at Westminster will greatly appreciate his work. But let's move it over to something more exciting. Prime cuts by our very own R.J. Scott.
Welcome back to another edition of Prime Cuts. I am R.J. Scott here with my partner Peyton Mel, and we have a plethora of sports to get through today, so let's hop right into it. In Game 1 in softball against Bethany, it was a tight battle until the 6th inning when first baseman Lily Jorden crushed a 2-run shot to put the Titans up 3-0. Cheyenne Piper dominated in the circle, pitching a one-hitter to seal the win over the PAC's top team in her 9th straight victory. In Game 2, the Titans jumped ahead early, but Bethany fought back, edging them 6-4 in a hard-fought Game 2. Faith Jones would go 2 for 4 behind the plate, while shortstop Ava Carper was a perfect 2 for 2 with an RBI. In Game 1, though, the Titans traveled to face the red-hot Presidents. Game 1 was indeed a nail-biter. Scoreless through 8 innings, we head to the top of the 9th where Chase Tomko rips a single to left. Josh Reed draws a walk, and after another walk, upsets Parker Lyons. Down 0-2 with ice in his veins. The sophomore from Rochester, PA laces it down the first base line. 2-run score, which means a Titans 2-0 victory.
Cruz kicks and deals. Hard grounder up the middle, a base hit. The Titans have taken the lead. Second runner will be waved home and score, and it's a 2-0 ball game. The walks come back to bite Cruz.
But unfortunately, W&J turned the page in Game 2, rolling past the Titans 10-0. Chris Davis went 2 for 4, while Marjanovic, Campbell, Beach, and Jones each added a hit.
First 2 runners reach base for Westminster.
Mark your calendars for the annual Blue and White Experience, which kicks off next Wednesday at 5:45 p.m. at Bury Stadium. Fresh off their bowl game win over Marietta, the Titans are hungry for more. So let's meet the stars of the Coming in at 6 foot, 190 pounds, the gunslinger Ty McGowan is coming off a phenomenal junior season, throwing 1,563 yards with 13 touchdowns to complement it. He also had a completion percentage of 67%. Lefties ready for a senior surge. The electrifying punt returner Bright Cannon took 3 to the house last year with 156 return yards as well. Don't blink, folks. We might do it again Wednesday. And on defense, Gary Joseph. Remember his game-sealing pick 6 against Marietta? The defensive line anchor is back. And Dylan Sleva is coming off a second-team All-PAC honor as he looks to dominate once more up the middle. And now to hear from Gary Joseph, who got to get a little inside scoop on what the blue and white experience is all about. Take it away, Gene.
Hey guys, I'm Gary Joseph. I'm here with Bryce Butler, number 3, All-American. So how is the blue and white experience for you?
Blue and white experience is great, you know what I'm saying? It what defines spring ball, you know what I'm saying? It's a chance for us to get out there as a team, fly around, put all the work we did in spring ball to the test, you know what I'm saying? Get up against the offense, keep it clean, everybody working hard, have some people come out, everybody intensity high, energy high, you know?
Yeah.
It means everything, you know what I'm saying? It's everything, you know what I'm saying? Really show you what that Westminster Titan football is all about.
What is the blue and white experience mean to you? Take the college to the maximum. It's a chance to show what you got, put some real work in, compete. That's all it's about, man. Titan football, man. You know what we do.
We see you.
And that's all for now. We will see you next Wednesday at Bury Stadium. Go Titans, and thank you guys for watching another edition of Prime Cuts. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm really excited for that blue and white experience, Jorden Tate. You know, next year the Titans look to have another incredible season, a bowl win over Marietta last year, and an incredible 2024. A different schedule next year, 2 out-of-conference games for the Titans. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Ethan. But you might have heard throughout those Prime Cuts clips, we heard some very specific calls by a very specific person. Mark Slezak, considered the voice of the Westminster Titans, sat down with Jake Spiritoso to give a story on how he got to where he is today.
Welcome back to another segment of Titan Town Sports. I'm Jake Spiritoso, and today we're going to be learning a little bit about Mark Slezak, also known as the voice of the Titans. We're going to see what he does here at Westminster and also what he does in the sports community. Slezak has announced Mercer County football and basketball games for 36 years with regional radio stations such as WWIZ, WLLF, and WPIC. He began his broadcasting career here at Westminster in the fall of 1983, broadcasting Wilmington high school football games. He served as Westminster Titan radio announcer from 1984 to 1987 and hasn't looked back since. Let's take a look at some of his best vocal moments of the 2024 year for football.
Here we go. Horwitz and Phillips will go right. Tellez has Morrison on his left. Houston and Bromley wide left. Houston waving his arms because there's nobody on him. Tellez fires. Houston, got it! Touchdown! Nobody covered Houston. He waved his arms frantically before the play and scores the touchdown with 18 seconds to go. 4-yard touchdown pass to Khalil Houston. It's 34-31. Check that. 35-31. James to his left. 3 receivers left. 1 to the right. Back to pass. Bromberg fires near side. Intercepted! And off to the races! Number 7! It's Lamont Austin! A cutback at the 30! Still on his feet! Just hang on to the ball! Lamont Austin with the biggest pick of his career! The freshman who looked injured about 5 minutes ago came back, led the route, and somebody in white made a big play. It was Lamont Austin for the Titans.
Not only does Mark broadcast football games, but he's widely known around the community for broadcasting basketball here at Westminster and also the Mercer County area. Let's check some highlights out for the 2024-2025 basketball season.
Here's Weir left alone. His 3 in the air is good.
When I think about what it means to be a mentor at Westminster, I guess I think of it more of as a privilege and an honor. Going to school here years ago and now being able to come back and give back to the program that gave so much to me, to give a little expertise back, to give professional advice, and to even grow as a broadcaster myself, learning in all these new experiences. It's just been great, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of Westminster.
That was another segment of Titan Town Sports. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the voice of the Titans, sending it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jake. And once again, Mark Slezak, a great inspiration for everyone around Westminster College. Couldn't be grateful enough to be able to meet him and learn from him.
Yeah, Jorden, a guy that we've both spent a whole lot of time around. You know, the things that I've picked up from Mark and the experience and knowledge that I've gained thanks to him is really incredible. Going a different direction now, let's talk about the Morgan's Message game on April 5th. The men's and women's lacrosse team dedicated their contest to the life and legacy of Morgan Rogers. It was the annual Morgan's Message game, a movement started by Rogers' family and teammates with the mission to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health. The Westminster women beat Teal, improving to a 9-2 record with a 13-9 win, with the men falling to Chatham in a close 13-12 game.
Yeah, great matchup there for both men's and women's. Unfortunately, the men's weren't able to get the win, Ethan, but still a great message and a special shout out to Isabella Cespedes for getting everyone around Westminster College involved. But Ethan, let's transition it to Titantown trivia, the best part of the day. First, the question is today, what former Titan All-American lineman and National Football Hall of Fame inductee was signed by the Cleveland Browns? Letter A, Frank Antoine Sr., B, Nate Armstrong, C, Larry Pugh, or D, Fred Blackhurst. Ethan, what are you going with on this one?
I think I'm going to have to go C, Larry Pugh. Not too sure, but just throwing my guess out there.
I think my answer has to be B, Nate Armstrong. I don't know why that just sounds like an O-lineman kind of name.
I can see it.
Let's see what the answer is on this one. The answer is C, Ethan. You were correct. Congratulations. And actually, we're going to move into the Mural Minute now with Emily Tallis on Titantown Sports.
From all the Titan legends such as Joe Fusco, Harold Berry, to many more, a few get forgotten, but not this one in this case. This is Larry Pugh, Hall of Famer, former Westminster Titan, and today we're going to learn about him, so let's take a walk. Larry Pugh was a 4-year starter, 3-year All-Conference player, and 2-year National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics All-American for Westminster College. The NAIA named Westminster College Pugh All-American at offensive guard in 1962 and at defensive tackle in 1964. He was second-team All-American at offensive guard in 1963, and during his collegiate career in 1961 through 1964, the Westminster Titans won 4 West Penn Conference championships and posted a composite 25-6-1 win-loss record, led by legendary head coach Dr. Harold Berry. Saturday Evening Post named Pugh one of the top 3 linemen in the East as the Titans team captain in 1964. Westminster went undefeated, posting an 8-0 win-loss record and held opposing offenses to 129 yards a game. This gave Westminster the 3rd best ranking on defense among all small college teams in the country. Larry signed a pro contract with the NFL's Cleveland Browns but was injured in the exhibition season and never played in a league game. He became a teacher in the school system in his hometown of Newcastle and would later on retire peacefully and happy.
Thank you for that, RJ. I apologize, I got the names wrong. That was made by RJ Scott and Peyton Mel.
Yeah, Jorden, we're going to take a quick break, but you just know that when we come back, there's still a whole lot of excitement here on Titantown Sports. Tom Rook with some athletes pregame music, and Austin Downs showing you what it's like to set up for spring sports remote setup.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I respond to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalization.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Welcome back to the desk on Titantown Sports. I'm Jorden Tate, joined again by Ethan Kurtz. And Ethan, pregame rituals usually involve a type of music that go along with getting ready. Do you have any specific music that you like to listen to before a game?
Yeah, I usually have a good mix. Some things to cool me down a little bit, other stuff to get me fired up and ready to go. So, changes depending on the game and how I'm feeling.
Absolutely. We were actually able to get Tom Rook to sit down and talk with freshman Nolan Griesaber about his pregame music.
What's up, Titantown sports fans? I'm Tom Rook. Today I'm going to be talking to Nolan Griesaber, Westminster men's lacrosse goalie, about his pregame music. Let's get into it. Here with Nolan Griesaber. Nolan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Excited to talk some pregame music. As far as your pregame music goes, what does that look like for you?
Oh, it's looking like a wide variety. I like a lot of music that just kind of gets me hyped for the game, but not too hyped.
Awesome. As far as the pregame playlist goes, Nolan, how many songs are on it?
You know, there's about 10 songs on it.
Okay, nice and short. When did you start listening to this specific playlist before game?
I started listening to it this year. Last year, I had a different mix of calm music because I thought that made me play well, but then I realized that I still need to get a little hype and get in my head.
Nice. When it comes to pregame, Nolan, how long before the game starts, do you hit play on the playlist?
I like to listen to it like 30 minutes before a game because it's about that long. And then I'll have the last song play like right before I go out, so I'm all amped up.
Do you use the same last song before every game?
Yes, I use the same last song every time. Creep by Radiohead.
Okay, same song every time?
Same song every time.
Is there a reason behind that, or you just have done it so many times it's just a ritual in your head?
You know, the last 3 songs are really like hype and it's heavy and it gets me going, and Creep has always just been like last one that I really like.
For away games, Nolan, how does that impact your pregame routine?
You know, it doesn't really impact it that much. I'll listen to the regular music that I like rap and that stuff before my regular playlist, because we get there 2 hours early. An hour before the game is when we go out and we get shots. So I'll listen to it around 30 minutes still before the game.
That's great. Now for the playlist, would you classify it in a specific genre of music, Nolan?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's a mix of songs that just pump me up.
That's great. How do you kind of pick and choose which songs are on the playlist, and will you consider adding new ones this year?
You know, I've added a lot of new ones. Well, not a lot, but I've added new ones, and it just depends. If I hear the song and I'm like, oh, I can listen to this before a game, and then I do and it works out, then yeah,
that's great.
Just add it on.
Awesome. When you're listening to your pregame playlist, Nolan, what do you use to listen?
No, it's got to be the Apple AirPods.
Okay.
I just got them this Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Super nice. I love them. They're comfortable and they have noise cancellation, so I don't have to hear everyone else.
Let's say you're on a time crunch now, Nolan. You only have time for one song to listen to pregame. What would that song be?
Have to be Creep by Radiohead. You know, it's my last song. It gets me the hypest. That's actually happened before. We had weather delay because of the thunderstorms, and I was like cycling through it because I didn't know when we were going to go out, and then they said like 5 minutes, turned it on, got ready.
Thank you, Tom. And Ethan, it's actually really funny because me and Nolan have walkers almost right next to each other, and every pregame I see him sitting down, headphones on, just staring at the floor. So it's finally nice to know what he's listening to.
Yeah, definitely. I know we all have our weird, different pregame rituals. I listen to certain music every time. I understand what Nolan's saying. That weather delay had me all messed up, which songs to listen to, what order. We're going to transition, still talking about spring sports. It's Austin Downs taking you through what it's like to set up for a broadcast.
Springtime here at Westminster means an action-packed time for spring sports, and also for the broadcast department, providing you with live audio and coverage of spring sports, whether it's lacrosse, baseball, or even softball. But how is this all possible? You usually want to go down and set up everything at least an hour before game time. You'll go inside the white tent to set everything up. In there you'll see Deputy Director of Athletics Kevin Fenstermacher and Anthony Esposito, who handles sports information. They provide us with a live visual feed, and in return we provide the stream with audio in which you can listen on WCNLive.com. You'll first want to go up to the 3rd floor in McKelvey in room 371 to grab the equipment. There you'll unpack the equipment and get everything out that you'll need. This bag is where you'll find your SoundPlant laptop and the Spring Streaming Sports format binder. Here's your streaming spring sports format binder, pretty much your holy Bible you will use for doing spring sports. That's your underwriting logs you'll fill out every time you play them on the SoundPlant. Here's your cheat sheet for softball and baseball that you will use, pretty much the layout and format for everything. Same thing over here for lacrosse. When you're doing a lacrosse game, lays everything out for you, everything you need to know pre-game and in the game. Tips for Twitter takeovers if you're doing that. Also, this is the important part, your audio streaming kit cheat sheet in case you forget or you need this, this will show you everything on how to set up the equipment to have a great broadcast. First, you want to grab out your mini mixer, pretty much the most important thing for audio. You want to take the USB cable attached to it, plug it in the back, and then plug it in the nearest outlet. Next, you want to connect the headphone jack to the dual female 1/4 inch gold adapter, and then plug the adapter into the headphone jack port on the mini mixer. Then you want to connect the two headsets to 2/4 jack ports from the adapter so you can get audio into your headset for the stream. As you can see, we've run into a problem here. We have two XLR female cables, so now we need a male to connect both ends to get it into the audio jack. Then make sure you plug in the USB end of the XLR female to the USB mic cable into the athletic streaming laptop. Then finally connect the aux cord from the stereo in port on the mini mixer to the sound plant laptop to get that audio sound to your stream. Next, you'll log in to the SoundPlan laptop using the password. Here's all the key beds for all sports, softball, underwriters, liners. Make sure you plug it back in when you're done with the laptop. Here's your mini mixer up close. Here's all the knobs to adjust your mic levels and the channels for your mics and for your headphones. Make sure that red light is blinking so you can have a great broadcast. Then it's cleanup time. Make sure everything is packed up neatly, headphones, mixer. Go on and zip that bad boy back up. Make sure you take it back upstairs where you found it, put it back in the room, and that's all. That's a basic tutorial on how to set up for spring streaming sports remotes. I'm Austin Downs. Back to you, Ethan and Jorden.
Thank you, Austin. I love that segment. I think I might watch that before the next spring sports broadcast.
I think I have to agree with you on that one, Ethan.
Yeah, no, done a good bit. I think I know how to do it, but sometimes you just forget. Really, really helpful segment there from Austin and really creative. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a great tutorial, like you said, by Austin. But let's segue it real quick, Ethan. This time of the year, it's usually when spring sports for high school get in the full swing of things, taking another look at Neshannock softball, a team that was ranked in the top 20 in the nation in the preseason, has gotten off to yet another hot start. The Lancers, with no surprise, are currently first in the WPIAL 2A1 conference over second-place Shenango. Neshannock boasts a record of 8-0 and 5-0 in league play.
Across the street, Wilmington softball has gotten off to a first-place start with a 5-1 record and taking their first league game. Baseball might need extras. A very close Region 1 in District 10, with Greenville in the lead, only a game ahead of West Middlesex. Wilmington sits a game and a half back of the Region 1 top spot with a record of 4-5 and 1-1 in league play.
Yeah, it's great always seeing teams from around the area really sticking out in the nation. I mean, being top 20 in the nation is not something easy to do, and it's great to see surrounding teams really making their names known. But, Ethan, let's segue once again to a more fun story with Ethan Schoen with Mini Mike Games.
A golden tornado, a titan, a bearcat, just to name a few of the PAC mascots. Who do you think would come out on top in an all-out brawl between these mascots? It's D3 week, the perfect time to celebrate the pride of Division III athletics, and we're at the Tub, one of Westminster's go-to eateries, asking students which mascot they think would win the fight. It's another edition of Mini Mike, and this is Mascot Madness. As I said, we're in the Tub. I'm Ethan Schoen, behind the camera Shaker Broads. Let's get into it. Who am I here with?
Savannah Telshaw.
And Ben Burke.
Ben Burke and Savannah Telshaw, who won in the fight? A Waynesburg Yellow Jacket or a Washington Jefferson President?
A Waynesburg Yellow Jacket.
What are you talking about? Why?
It's because Yellow Jackets are way cooler than Presidents and it'll sting them dead.
Yeah, but it's one Yellow Jacket against two people. They can just put on the Raid bug spray and just kill it.
Who am I here with?
Annabelle Turner. Alex Walmsley.
Annabelle Turner, Alex Walmsley. Who would win in the fight? A Geneva Golden Tornado or a St. Vincent Bearcat?
Oh, St. Vincent Bearcat. St. Vincent Bearcat.
Any reason?
I just think they're stronger than the tornado. And tornadoes go away after a while. The Bearcats stay strong.
Okay, you?
No reason.
Who am I here with?
Ryan Crispin.
Ryan, who would win in the fight? A Westminster Titan or a Grove City Wolverine?
I'm gonna have to definitely go with the Westminster Titan because they got a sword. Wolverine's not competing with that.
Ooh, good point. Who am I here with?
Miles Hennigan.
Miles, who would win in the fight? A St. Vincent Bearcat or a Chatham Cougar?
But the Yellow Jacket can sting as many times as it wants without dying. So it stings Jefferson, stings Washington, bam, end of discussion.
But they have so many more.
I'd have to go with the Cougar.
Any particular reason why? Who am I here with?
Alicia.
Alicia, who won the fight? A Case Western Reserve Spartan or an Allegheny Gator?
I'd have to go with an Allegheny Gator.
Any reason why?
Gators can death roll. That Spartan's not going to win.
Gotcha. Who am I here with?
Harry Kelly.
Tyreek, who would win in a fight, a Hiram Terrier or a Bethany Bison?
Bethany Bison.
Any reason why?
It's a bison, of course.
Who am I here with?
Maddie Doran.
Maddie, who would win in a fight, a Chatham Cougar or a Grove City Wolverine?
I'm going to go with the Wolverine this time.
Any reason why?
Because Wolverines are just the best. They're dogs. They destroy everything. They're the strongest.
Who am I here with?
Kyle Brown.
Kyle, who would win in a fight, a Case Western Reserve Spartan or a Franciscan Baron?
Spartan.
Any reason why?
It's a Spartan.
There seems to be no one on campus except for a couple squirrels, so I'm just going to go ahead and interview the cameraman, Jacob Rhodes. Who would win in a fight, a Geneva Golden Tornado or a St. Vincent Bearcat?
Ethan, that's going to be a tough one there. St. Vincent Bearcats coming in as a lower seed. Golden Tornadoes are a natural disaster and a tornado after all. So my betting favorite, who I picked to win the entire thing, the Golden Tornadoes are beating the Bearcats and sweeping the entire PAC because it's a Golden Tornado, guys. I know we're here at Westminster, but natural disaster is going to beat a Titan. Sorry, folks. Sorry. I know. Sorry. Geneva's winning it.
Who am I here with?
Thank you for that, Ethan. A really fun story, but this next one's kind of a heartbreaking for a lot of Duke fans out there, unfortunately. But before we get into it, March Madness, a big tournament around the country, especially when it comes to picking your bracket. Ethan, have you ever picked a very good bracket, or are they all kind of just busted?
No, I've never had like a really, really good one. This year I filled out a second chance bracket and was perfect until the national championship. Had, Houston beating Florida in that, which didn't happen. But in all of my normal brackets, I had Duke going all the way, so made it to the Final Four. Unfortunate it didn't happen. But a few years ago, I picked the St. Peter's upset over Kentucky randomly on a whim, so I was really happy about that.
You know what? I actually did have Kentucky going all the way that year. I will never forget that. But I think one of my best brackets was back in 2016 when Villanova beat North Carolina. I actually predicted the Final Four. Wow. I had Syracuse winning the whole thing because I was a little biased. But this year was not too kind to me, especially in the You Pick 'em bracket for Westminster College. Here's a story by Ken Momeyer with more about the challenge and the history behind it.
What is the big deal with March Madness? I mean, all it is a basketball tournament. It is estimated that over 50 million people fill in March Madness brackets each year. That's roughly 7 times the population of New York City. The Broadcasting and former Audio-Visual Services Department has longtime hosted the You Pick 'em NCAA Bracket Bonanza. The department has kept records of who won and cool tidbits of each tournament for the department's 34-year challenge. Just look at how big the binder is. This year, the Florida Gators came out on top over Houston, granting Tom Miller, a Westminster Broadcasting major alum, his first ever You Pick 'em victory. Tom will receive a certificate for his outstanding hoop knowledge and will be forever immortalized on the legendary Bill Funchess Hoop Nut Trophy, named after longtime friend of Westminster, Bill Funchess. Tom correctly picked all of the number 1 seeds in the tournament to be the last 4 standing and was able to beat out over 30 competitors in this year's tournament. On top of that, Tom very closely predicted that the total points that might be scored in the national championship to be 120, as the final tally ended up being 128. This year's worst bracket featured senior Mason Peck, who will be forever synonymous with the Golden Plunger Award. Sorry, Mason. Better luck next year as an alumni. Mason was able to snatch away the title from last year's worst bracket winner, Brianne Zeimer, who scored a whopping 400 points, who probably isn't terribly upset to see her title go away. Tom Miller was able to take the crown away from last year's winner with 1,420 points, Andy Bortz, who I'm sure is upset to see his title under a different name. That wraps up the 2025 You Pick 'em NCAA Bracket Bonanza.
Thanks for that crushing recap, Ken. Again, me and Ethan had Duke going. Did you watch any of that Duke game?
Yeah, I did. And didn't watch as much of the national championship. An incredible comeback there, but some falling apart at the end of the game.
Just letting up, what was it, like a 13-2, 15-3 run, something like that towards the end of the game. I really thought Duke had it in the bag, and then Cooper Flagg's unfortunate miss at the very end, very heartbreaking. But yeah, like you mentioned, that national championship game was the first national championship for Florida since 2007, almost 20 years. Congratulations to everyone on the Florida, and I guess congratulations to all of you that picked it, especially in the You Pick 'em bracket. I know, Ethan, I really wanted to sign my name in Westminster history. But thank you all for joining us today. That's going to be all for this episode of Titantown Sports. We'll see you guys next time.
This is Dr. Krantz with the Harm Center for the Environment, and that's a wrap for this week's Titantown Sports. See you next week.